The confetti rained down like golden snowflakes. The crowd roared. The stage lights sparkled as Jamal Roberts, eyes wide and heart full, stood center stage, his voice barely a whisper as he said, "You can accomplish anything." It was the grand finale of American Idol 2025, and Jamal had just been crowned the winner. But this moment wasn't just about victory. It was about every struggle he had overcome, every note he had perfected, every time he had looked into the mirror and reminded himself to keep believing. Let's take you behind the curtain into the remarkable journey of one of the most inspiring American Idol stories ever told. Humble beginnings. Jamal Roberts wasn't born with a silver spoon or a record deal waiting in the wings. He grew up in a tight-knit neighborhood in Jackson, Mississippi, where gospel music poured out of churches like sunlight through stained glass. Jamal's earliest performances weren't on fancy stages. They were in the pews, standing next to his grandmother who insisted, "If God gave you that voice, you better use it." He did, but the world didn't make it easy. Jamal balanced school, 2 part-time jobs, and caring for his younger siblings while his single mother worked late shifts at the local hospital. Still, he found time to sing, in school talent shows, in local community centers, at open mics. People began to talk. "That boy's got something special," they'd whisper. But Jamal never let it get to his head. He stayed grounded, always humble, always focused. The American Idol dream. When auditions opened for American Idol 2025, Jamal hesitated. It wasn't nerves, it was fear. Fear of putting himself out there, fear of being told no, fear of dreaming too big. But it was his little sister, Maya, who looked him in the eye and said, "You always tell me I can be anything. So can you." So he went. He stood in line for 9 hours, barely sleeping, humming melodies under his breath and praying for a chance. When Jamal walked into the audition room, the judges, Ryan Seacrest watching from the sidelines, and a new but electric panel of voices were skeptical, until he opened his mouth. The first note silenced the room. What followed was a rendition of Donny Hathaway's "A Song for You" that would become one of the most viral audition clips in the history of the show. Judge Maria Lennox was the first to speak. "Jamal, your voice doesn't just sing, it speaks. You just made American Idol feel like church." Rising through the ranks, week after week, Jamal transformed from underdog to frontrunner. Each performance showcased not just vocal range, but emotional depth. He didn't just hit notes, he told stories. From a stripped-down version of Beyoncé's "Halo" that brought people to tears, to a soul-wrenching cover of John Legend's "Ordinary People," Jamal connected with the audience like few contestants ever had. But it wasn't just about the music. Viewers connected to his character. He never boasted, never bragged. After every standing ovation, he smiled, nodded, and whispered, "Thank you." When contestants were eliminated, Jamal was the first to offer a hug, encouragement, or a word of prayer. His humility became his signature. The final showdown. The American Idol 2025 finale was the most watched episode in over a decade. It all came down to 3 names: Jamal Roberts, Breanna Nix, and John Foster. Each contestant brought their best. Breanna lit up the stage with powerhouse vocals and a killer sense of style. John Foster, the country crooner, had America's heartstrings in a lasso. But when Jamal stepped forward to perform his original single, "Heal," something changed. It wasn't just a song, it was a movement. "Heal" was a lyrical masterpiece inspired by his childhood, his faith, and his hope for unity in a divided world. His voice soared, his heart poured out, and the audience knew this wasn't just a performance, this was history. The final vote tally was close, too close. The tension was electric. Then came the moment. Ryan Seacrest, holding the sealed envelope, smiled and said, "America, your American Idol 2025 is Jamal Roberts." And just like that, the confetti fell. The celebration. The moment Jamal heard his name, he froze. Hands to his face, tears welled up. He dropped to his knees in gratitude. The other contestants surrounded him, clapping and cheering. Breanna held his hand. John gave him a brotherly embrace. Ryan Seacrest lifted his arm in victory. "Jamal," he said into the mic, "you've got the whole world in front of you." Cameras flashed, fans screamed. But through it all, Jamal remained the same. "I didn't do this alone," he said. "God brought me here. My family kept me going. And all of you, you believed in me when I struggled to believe in myself." The final performance of Heel as the new Idol winner became the show's most emotional closing ever. People cried in their living rooms. Twitter exploded. Social media erupted with love, tributes, and celebratory hashtags. What comes next? Winning American Idol doesn't just mean a trophy and applause. Jamal now has a recording contract, a national tour, and a future filled with limitless potential. But he says the biggest gift is the platform to inspire others. In his first interview post win, Jamal said, "To every kid out there who feels unseen, unheard, or underestimated, don't give up. You can accomplish anything." Fans are already calling Heel a Grammy contender. The song hit the top of digital download charts within hours. Radio stations are flooding with requests. Schools are using the song for graduation ceremonies. It's more than a hit, it's an anthem. And as Jamal begins his journey as the 2025 American Idol winner, he's determined to remain true to his roots. "I'll sing," he says, "but I'll also speak. I'll share my story. Because someone out there needs to know it's okay to struggle, it's okay to doubt, but never stop believing." Legacy in the making. Jamal joins the ranks of iconic American Idol winners, names like Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, and Fantasia. But what makes him different is the quiet fire within. The way he uplifts others, the way he lets his talent speak without ever shouting. His story is already changing lives. Schools are inviting him to speak. Churches are inviting him to sing. And producers from Hollywood to Atlanta are lining up to work with him. But Jamal says he'll take it one day at a time. "If I can stay grounded and stay grateful, everything else will follow." And to the millions who watched him rise, fall, and rise again, he's not just the winner of American Idol 2025. He's the voice of a generation.